You probably remember the 1990s as the golden age of fun, safe Saturday morning TV for kids. But what if some of those shows were anything but innocent? Throughout the decade, networks quietly aired series that slipped disturbing horror, death, and psychological trauma into after-school slots. From the rotting corpse in Are You Afraid of the Dark's infamous Dead Man's Float, to suburban body horror in Eerie, Indiana, to the noir tragedy of Batman. The animated series, these forgotten 90s TV shows crossed lines that few parents noticed at the time. Why did kids' TV get so dark, and just how far did it go? The answer will change how you remember childhood TV forever. In 1991, Nickelodeon introduced a new kind of campfire story with Are You Afraid of the Dark? A show that turned childhood fears into appointment television. Every week, the Midnight Society gathered in the woods, torch in hand, to share tales that were anything but harmless. The series wasted no time pushing boundaries. In The Tale of the Dead Man's Float, which aired in 1994, a school pool becomes the hunting ground for a rotting, waterlogged corpse, its hollow eyes and peeling flesh burned into the memories of anyone who watched. This wasn't just a ghost story. The monster had a body count, and the camera lingered underwater, building tension with every ripple. For many kids, swimming pools felt different after that night. While Nickelodeon was serving up supernatural scares, NBC took a different approach with Eerie, Indiana. Premiering in 1991, the show followed Marshall Teller as he uncovered the dark secrets lurking behind white picket fences. The pilot episode, Forever Where, introduced Betty Wilson, a Tupperware saleswoman whose secret to eternal youth involved sealing her twin sons in airtight containers every night. Marshall's discovery of the boys, frozen in time, desperate to escape their plastic tombs, turned a suburban ritual into a body horror nightmare. The episode's final image, the twins finally allowed to age, left viewers with more questions than comfort. Both shows aired during primetime slots, drawing in young audiences who expected safe thrills, but got something far more unsettling. Ratings soared, and playground chatter turned these episodes into urban legends. Underneath the scares, there was always a deeper unease, about what adults hide, about conformity, about the dangers that lurk in familiar places. The message was clear. Darkness wasn't reserved for late-night cable or adult dramas. In the early 90s, it had found a home in the heart of kids' TV. Disney's Gargoyles arrived on the 1994 Disney afternoon with a look and mood unlike anything else on after-school TV. The series built its world out of stone and shadow, mixing medieval tragedy with skyscraper noir. But it was an episode called Deadly Force that stunned parents and kids alike. In this story, Broadway, the show's gentle giant, plays with Detective Elisa Mazza's service pistol after watching an old western. One careless moment, and the gun goes off. Elisa collapses, blood pooling beneath her on the kitchen floor. Broadway's hands come away stained red as he rushes her to the hospital. For a Disney cartoon, the consequences were shockingly real. The fallout was immediate. After its first airing on November 18, 1994, Deadly Force disappeared from Disney's rotation. Later reruns on Toon Disney and Disney XD returned with the most graphic shots cut out, the blood erased, the camera lingering only on Elisa's face. The original version stayed locked away for years, only resurfacing on DVD and, decades later, on Disney+. The show's creative team, led by Greg Weisman, had expected a wave of complaints. But by his account, only 2 letters arrived, and neither was about the gun violence. Still, the network's standards team wasn't taking chances. The edits stayed, and the episode became legend among fans. Meanwhile, Batman, the animated series, was redefining what a superhero cartoon could be. The 1993 episode Heart of Ice gave Mr. Freeze a tragic origin. A brilliant scientist, driven by grief over his comatose wife, turned to revenge after a greedy executive pulled the plug on her life support. The story didn't end with a punch or a joke. Instead, Freeze sat alone in his cell, lost in sorrow, while Batman watched in silence. The episode earned an Emmy for its writing. It also left kids and adults with a sense of loss that didn't fade with the credits. These weren't just action shows. Gargoyles and Batman. The animated series brought real-world pain, gun violence, grief, the weight of irreversible mistakes, into the world of animation. For many young viewers, It was the first time a cartoon made them feel the kind of fear and sadness usually reserved for grown-up dramas. And as networks pushed these boundaries, they soon found themselves answering to parents who wondered if Saturday mornings had gone too far. Goosebumps arrived on Fox Kids in 1995, promising safe scares but quickly finding itself at the center of a national debate. Adapted from R.L. Stine's best-selling books, the series pulled in millions of young viewers with stories of haunted masks, living dummies, and sinister basements. But behind the ratings, something else was brewing. By 1997, the American Library Association had logged 46 formal challenges to the Goosebumps books, most of them from parents and school boards worried about the TV show's influence. In Minneapolis, a parent's complaint about nightmares led to a school board review. In Bay County, Florida, episodes were pulled over claims of satanic imagery and violence. Fox Kids responded by inventing its own GB7 rating, warning families that some scenes might be too spooky for children under 7. When the official TV ratings launched a year later, Goosebumps was stamped with a TVY7FV label and a new disclaimer: some content might be best watched together as a family. The pushback was strongest around episodes like The Haunted Mask. The original ending, filmed in early 1995, showed Carly Beth's terror when she saw her brother wearing the cursed mask, a scream so raw that network executives demanded a reshoot. Producer Steve Levitan later confirmed the darker version was locked away, never aired. Even so, the edited episode drew more than 7.9 million households on its October premiere and landed a Nielsen rating of 8.2. Yet the high numbers didn't shield the show from scrutiny. School districts debated whether Goosebumps belonged in classroom reading programs. Parent-teacher groups argued over whether the series desensitized kids to fear or simply gave them nightmares. Child psychologists weighed in too. Some warned that repeated exposure to body horror and identity loss, like Carly Beth's struggle to remove the mask, could trigger real anxiety in younger viewers. Others pointed to the show's ambiguous endings, which left threats unresolved and children wondering if the monster might return. As complaints piled up, Fox Kids began tightening its standards, pulling certain episodes from rotation and editing others for reruns. The era of unchecked experimentation was ending. For the first time, network executives faced not just ratings pressure, but a wave of parental activism and expert scrutiny. Goosebumps had become the lightning rod, a show that made networks rethink how far they could go before the audience pushed back. MTV's The Maxx hit screens in 1995, landing on the oddities block with a story that felt more like therapy than a superhero adventure. The show followed a homeless man, Maxx, who slipped between grim city streets and a violent dreamscape called the Outback. Julie Winters, his social worker, was haunted by her own trauma. Together, they faced a villain named Mr. Gone, whose crimes included stalking, violence, and psychological torment. The Maxx tackled subjects like abuse, dissociation, and recovery, all in a late-night slot that still drew teens and college kids. Ratings were modest, but complaints about the show's disturbing content outnumbered fan letters, and MTV added extra voiceovers to soften the blow for younger viewers. The Maxx lasted just one season, leaving behind a reputation as the cartoon that left viewers rattled and unsure who it was really for. In 1998, the WB took a gamble on Invasion America, a Spielberg-produced animated series that aired in prime time. The show opened with a family destroyed. David Carter's mother vanished in an explosion, his alien father hunted, and Earth caught in the crossfire of an interstellar war. Characters died on screen: soldiers, civilians, even a key general, while the threat of genocide hung over every episode. The bleak tone and unresolved storylines confused younger viewers, who found the show slotted alongside lighter fare. Critics questioned whether a dystopian alien invasion belonged on network TV at 8 p.m. The ratings never matched expectations, and after one season, Invasion America disappeared, leaving its war-torn world unfinished. Beast Wars, Transformers, which debuted in 1997, took the franchise into darker territory than ever before. Gone were the reset-button battles of the past. Characters like Dinobot faced real, permanent death. In the episode Code of Hero, Dinobot sacrifices himself to save the future, fighting alone against impossible odds. His funeral, held by his fellow Maximals, was somber and final. No magical resurrection, no last-minute save. For many kids, this was the first time a cartoon hero died and stayed dead. The weight of extinction, betrayal, and sacrifice made Beast Wars a shock to fans raised on the safety of Saturday mornings. By the late 90s, networks had run headlong into the limits of what parents would tolerate. The era of fearless experimentation was winding down, and safe spaces were about to take over the schedule. Mack hit SNCC in 1994 with a premise that felt ripped from a late-night thriller. A regular teen doused in top-secret chemical GC-161, suddenly hunted by the very company that poisoned her. Paradise Valley Chemical's shadowy agents, led by Lars Fredriksson, weren't cartoon villains. They stalked her, tapped phones, and made threats that felt all too real. Every episode, Alex dodged surveillance and corporate schemes, never knowing who might betray her. The show's paranoia ran deep, trading locker room drama for high-stakes chases and whispered threats. By the 1998 series finale, Alex faced a cliffhanger that left her fate and the company's reach unresolved. Marketed to tweens, but the dread lingered long after the credits rolled. ReBoot began as a lighthearted digital adventure, but by its third season in 1997, everything changed. The Game Over arc pushed the show into territory no one expected for Saturday morning TV. Mainframe's plucky kid hero, Enzo, was lost in the games and came back years older, scarred, hardened, and nearly unrecognizable. The city he once protected had fallen under Megabyte's iron rule, transforming Mainframe into a surveillance state where hope was in short supply. Addiction and control replaced slapstick and simple battles. Even beloved characters weren't safe from loss or corruption. The later episodes didn't just flirt with darkness, they embraced it, leaving fans stunned that a children's cartoon could go so far. By 1997, more than 40 episodes of children's TV faced complaints or censorship for content judged too intense or mature, including Deadly Force from Gargoyles and The Haunted Mask from Goosebumps. These shows blurred the line between entertainment and real fear, introducing themes of death, trauma, and moral ambiguity, sometimes for the first time in kids' animation and live action. Documents from Fox Kids and Nickelodeon confirm a surge in parental concerns, yet network archives show that creators pushed boundaries to reflect the anxieties of the era. What remains unclear is how much these dark storylines shaped young viewers' resilience or fears in the long term. No comprehensive studies exist. Today, with streaming services and stricter content guidelines, most of these experiments would be unlikely to air unchanged. The legacy of these forgotten 90s shows is clear. They proved that even Saturday mornings could confront darkness head-on, leaving questions about risk and reward that still echo in children's television.